what I wanted to do, one of the things we touched on the other day was looking at drone imagery and interactive elements. And this is the tour we saw the other day. So here I've got, these are all terrestrial outdoor images here. And I've also got a number of—
Gareth, excuse me, are we in the project browser?
This is the project dashboard for another project.
Thank you, project dashboard, okay.
Yeah. So here we can see the different sections, any attached files, the rooms and the source images. And at the bottom here, we have all the images that we've used to create the tour. And in this case, it's one outdoor space. So we have one room. And if I go into the tour editor, doesn't look as pretty as when it's in the room editor, sorry. We can see what the space looks like with all the 3D elements. And again, you can see it's very simple. You know, there's not lots and lots of scan data. There's a few cubes denoting the objects. And we have our aerial panoramas. And really the key to getting the aerial panoramas in is, I'm just going to pop up to there, is working out what the height is of the panorama. And that can be a bit tricky. The other thing with aerial panoramas is that they tend to be stitched together from multiple images, which means that the geometry isn't so good with the aerial panoramas. And you can see we've got a bit of dislocation here. It's pretty normal. One does the best one can with aerial panoramas. In this case, you know, it was probably a windy day and the customer's trying to get the drone to stay in one place and takes about 8 shots and stitches them together. So the geometry isn't perfect. But what we can do is we don't actually, obviously it's a drone, so we don't know exactly what the height was necessarily, depending on the drone. Some are good at measuring altitude fairly accurately. So what we would do in this case is we'd make sure that we know the dimensions of one of these buildings. In this case, this cabin here is about 12 meters. And then we go ahead and measure it. And then we can apply that dimension. We can say, well, that length is 12 meters, and then it'll actually backfigure the lens height from that calibration. It's already all done in this one, so I'm not going to do it right now. But that's the way we can, just from looking at the image, work out what height the panorama should be.
And how many buildings or measurements should the photographer do laser measures on in order to help with those aerial?
Just one is fine. It just needs to be something in the ground plane. We're just trying to, anything is, we need one known dimension in the ground plane from which to triangulate the lens height. That's it. It's possible to take more if you want, just to be sure. You know, if you measure 3 and there's a discrepancy, you might want to average between them. But in this case, one is normally fine. And so we can do that to locate our panoramas in the sky. We've created the sky box for the background. And we've got our other panoramas located on the ground there.